I was discriminated my entire life because of my golden child sister, but when she crossed the line, I got the authorities involved, and my mom is begging me not to sue. My mom treated my sister like a golden child and always made sure to tell me she loved her more. So, growing up, I had to let her blow out my birthday candles, let her open my Christmas presents, if I ever even got any, and let her wear all the nice clothes I got from relatives because she needed it more. It was some BS, but in my mom's eyes, my sister could do no wrong. And no matter what, if my sister did do something wrong, she'd always find a way to put the blame on me. If she was suspended, it's because I was a bad role model, and if she had bad grades in school, it's because I didn't teach her anything. Luckily, I was able to move away the second I turned 18 after years of hiding away my money. This period in my life was so traumatic. I had to go to a therapist because not being loved by my mom genuinely screwed me over. At some point, she had recommended I get an emotional support animal to help cope with the stress of being constantly overlooked and undervalued. So I got a miniature schnauzer, since they're easy to take care of, and named him Max. He quickly became my best friend, and he gave me a routine, a purpose, and most importantly, a reason to keep my mental health in check. I'd spend hours taking him for long walks and playing with him. I made sure I took care of him to the best of my ability, such as feeding him tasty treats and brushing his coat with a Floof shampoo and conditioner. The fact he always stayed happy and healthy made me happy too. But my biggest mistake was posting a picture of Max on my social media, because hours later I was bombarded with messages from my mom. Apparently, my sister had seen the picture and immediately started whining about how unfair it was that I got a dog and I didn't share him. My mom accused me of putting a dog above family and told me I had no right to keep Max from them. She kept insisting that my sister deserved to meet him, as if I owed them access to every part of my life, even my dog. I didn't trust my sister at all, and especially not my mom, so I ignored their messages and calls for days, thinking that they would eventually get tired of spamming me. Everything changed when it came time for my sister's birthday. I was at work, and when I came back home, my heart nearly stopped because my backyard was full of people. Kids were running around, there were balloons everywhere, and there was a massive cake on the patio table. I fully realized what was happening when I saw a gigantic cutout of my sister. My mom had decided to throw her a birthday party at my place. Mind you, she didn't tell me or even ask for permission, and the moment she saw me, she came over smiling and telling me that my backyard was perfect for the party since I have more space. I asked her how the hell she even got in, and she said I left the back door unlocked, so she took as a sign that I clearly left it open for her to come in and out whenever she wanted. I told her that she had no right to be doing that, and in the middle of me confronting her, she got all serious and asked me when I was going to stop being a disappointment. I quickly felt all my childhood memories coming back and months of therapy being undone. There I was, as an adult, being second best to my spoiled little sister, and my mom berating me over every little thing. I would have had a mental breakdown on the spot had it not been for me remembering that I had Max. I quickly looked around for him and tried to steady my breathing, but I almost freaked out when I found him with a bunch of little kids and my sister. I ran to him and saw he was covered in dirt. He looked more like a mop than the well-groomed little guy I had seen that morning. And worse, he was scratching himself nonstop, which was something he had never done before. I was so worried I scooped him up and took him inside to clean him up, though my little sister nearly threw a tantrum and said that she was playing with him. My mom rolled her eyes at me and went to comfort my sister, but didn't forget to add maybe if you cared half as much about real family, you wouldn't be so pathetic. I admit the word stung and I was fighting back tears, but I did my best to ignore her because Max was clearly in pain. I started rinsing him off in the bathroom, but as the dirt came off, I noticed red patches all over his skin. He had scratched so much he'd irritated his skin, and he had a few hot spots starting to form. I didn't even know what had caused it. So, after I finished cleaning him up, I went back outside and asked my mom what happened. My sister immediately said that she gave him some ice cream because he looked like he really wanted it. I shouted that Mark was allergic to dairy and he was scratching himself because he was having an allergic reaction. I felt like I was going to explode, but it got worse when my sister rolled her eyes and told me that he seemed fine. At that moment, I remember thinking, great, my dog was suffering because my sister was too entitled to listen and too careless to think about the consequences. I didn't know what to do, but I knew I needed to fix Max's condition quickly. The first place I checked was the Floof website because I lived by their shampoo and conditioner. They had made Max's coat smell good and look shiny, so I was banking on the fact they had something for him this time too. Luckily, it didn't take long for me to find a Smart Pet skin spray that was supposed to help hot spots and itching. I checked the main ingredient, hypochlorous acid, and it looked legit, so I ordered it. When the Smart Pet skin spray finally arrived, I used it on Max immediately, praying it would work. In a week, he was scratching less, and the redness started to fade. I was so relieved because I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't seen it, or if my sister had fed him chocolate. We both would have been gone, that's for sure. I knew I was never going to let her near Max ever again, and though there was nothing I could do about it this time, I still blame myself for letting it happen. I should have known my mom would do some BS like this. There's nothing she wouldn't do for my sister, but I knew she would never understand what Max meant to me. They didn't know that he had saved me just by the way he nuzzled up to me on bad days, and his attention-seeking tendencies never failed to make me laugh. There was nothing I loved more than him seeing me and instantly wanting me to rub his belly. It showed he trusted me with his life, and I didn't have to worry about failing him because 3 weeks after using the Smart Pet skin spray, Max was reverting back to his old self. He was happily wagging his tail and wasn't in discomfort. After 2 months, his coat was shinier and his skin was healthier. I didn't see any hot spots and he had stopped scratching himself entirely. Watching him happy and healthy reminded me that I had done something right. And since he was all healed after using the Smart Pet skin spray, I decided to confront my mom. I called her and told her that what she and my sister had done was unacceptable and I couldn't let it slide. I told her that not only had she trespassed onto my property but she also put my dog's life in danger. My mom had the nerve to ask me if I really cared more about that dog than my family. I said she stopped being my mom the second she told me she loved my sister more than me. She said I was being ungrateful and I knew she was going to go on a "you're a bad daughter" rant. So I just told her to save it for court.